Welcome back, students. In the previous few lectures, we were going through the basic concepts of the magnetostatics. Then we have gone through the first law of the magnetostatic, Biot-Savart law. In the Biot-Savart law, we came to the certain conclusion that H bar is directly proportional to ideal sine alpha upon r square. Then we have found that particular thing very interesting, and we calculated by the cross product of r bar cross dl bar cross r bar, and then we came to the final conclusion. Then we have gone through the line current distribution, surface current distribution, volume current distribution, and finally we have understood the derivation or the formula for calculation of H bar for the finite current carrying filament in any random direction. We have taken that as a z direction, and we got that formula. H bar is equal to I by 4 pi rho cos alpha 2 minus cos alpha 1 a phi bar, where alpha 2 and alpha 1 are the angles made by the end point of the current distribution and start point of the current distribution. Alpha 1 is always taken as the outer angle, alpha 2 is always taken as the inner angle. Then we have solved one numerical also. One numerical was given to you as an exercise. Today it's a time to discuss about next law which governs the magnetostatic. As there were two laws in the electrostatic, repeatedly I am telling these things: Gauss law and Coulomb's law. Here also there are two laws. The first law is Biot-Savart law, and second law is the Ampere circuit law. Ampere circuit law is a special case of Biot-Savart law. How we can derive that? Let's understand. Now, if you do remember a statement of the Gauss law, what Gauss law was stating us? Gauss law was stating us that the total electric flux radiated by the any closed surface is equal to total charge enclosed by that surface. So it was like psi radiated, or Q is equal to psi radiated. So I'll just try to write it here. So psi radiated is equal to RAD stands for, it not radian, it is radiated, is equal to Q enclosed. So this was the thing Gauss law was saying. Similar to that, I'm just finding an analogy because already electrostatic concepts are clear to you, and that's why I'm trying to find an analogy. Now psi radiated is equal to Q enclosed was the statement for Gauss law. Similar to that, now what Ampere circuit law is saying? Ampere circuit law states that the line integral of the tangential component of H bar, that is magnetic field intensity, around a closed path is same as that of the net current enclosed by the path. Now see here, there was a charge enclosed in case of Gauss law. Here it is saying something related to the I enclosed. Now if I need to calculate a current, do you agree with me? If I have this wire and if I have a closed path, then and then only will current will start flowing. Otherwise there is no question of the current which is flowing through the open circuit. No, because for the open circuit current is 0, voltage is maximum. So I need to have a closed path. So what is the statement of Ampere's law? Just read it once again. Ampere circuit law states that line integral means it's a closed line. Closed line forms a surface. Line integral of tangential component of H bar, that is magnetic field intensity, around a closed path, because line integral is taken along a closed path, is same as that of the current I enclosed by that path. So line integral of closed line integral H bar dot dl bar is equal to I enclosed. Ampere circuit law is similar to the Gauss law, and it's easily applied to the determine H bar when the current distribution is symmetrical. So just I was trying to find the analogy between Gauss law and Ampere circuit law. Sometimes Ampere circuit law is also called Gauss law for the magnetostatic. Means there is nothing wrong in it. Now see, this was the statement of the Gauss law, first law. So we'll see this as equation number 1 for timing. Now we all know, we have understood a Stokes theorem. Whenever there is a closed line integral of any vector H bar dot dl bar, it can be written by using Stokes theorem. What is the Stokes theorem statement? So Stokes theorem on the left hand side of the previous equation we get. So forget about this I enclosed for the timing. So closed line integral H bar dot dl bar is equal to del cross H bar dot ds bar. See, closed line form surface, once again the same formula or same diagram I will draw. If I have started with the point A, I went to B, then I came to C, then came to D, and finally I come to A. So it forms a closed path. So if I started my journey with the point A and come back to point A via B, C, D, then definitely I have followed a certain surface. So this surface is not a closed surface, this is an open surface. So closed line means the lines are closed, they are going to form an open surface. Okay. So it forms a open surface. So A, B, C, D, A. Similar to that, so closed line integral of h bar dot dl bar is equal to open surface. So you try to understand the analogy between these mathematical expressions also, or mathematical identities, that closed line forms open surface, closed surface forms volume, that we have gone through in the Gauss law. So closed line form open surface. But now what is the statement of Stokes theorem? Stokes theorem says that it is exactly equal to the curl of that vector over a surface. I need to calculate a curl of that particular vector, for where I need to calculate this closed line integral. So it is curl of h bar dot ds bar. So if that is so, let's understand, if h bar dot dl bar is equal to del cross h bar dot ds bar, comparing with equation 1, I will call this as equation 2. I can write combined equation number 1 and 2, and I come to the conclusion I enclosed is equal to this much expression. If that is so, we have gone through the current continuity equation. You just refer to the PDFs which are already uploaded on the LMS, and just go through it. You will find the expression for I enclosed. I enclosed is the current enclosed is equal to j bar dot ds bar. One can ask me a question: what is j bar? J bar is called as a current density. It is current density. So if I enclosed is equal to j bar dot ds bar, unit of j bar is ampere per meter square. So I enclosed is equal to j bar dot ds bar. This is also expression we have gone through in the second unit. So now I am having a third expression with me. According to the current continuity equation and other form of the currents that we have gone through, we know that I enclosed is equal to surface integral j bar dot ds bar. If we compare these two integrals now, surface, if the surface is same, can I write del cross h bar is equal to j bar? Yes. If I am approximating these two integrations over a constant surface ds, which is same for this particular surface also and this particular surface, that means surface is same. In that case, j bar must be equal to del cross h bar. So comparing these equations 2 and 3, we came to the conclusion del cross h bar is equal to j bar, and this is the most important expression. This is also one Maxwell's equation. So this is second Maxwell's equation. Del cross h bar is equal to j bar. Remember this thing, very, very important. So del cross h bar is equal to j bar. So the curl of magnetic field intensity is equal to electric. So this is current density. So electric current density. Now see, this magnetic field intensity is related to the what? Electric current. So magnetic field intensity related to the electric current, and that's why the subject name is electromagnetic. So if we have some mathematical operator del on the magnetic field, we'll get certain parameter in the electric field. Similarly, if we try to apply the mathematical expression on electric field, we'll get certain other parameter in the magnetic field, vice versa. So that's why it's a combination of electromagnetics. As and when we will progress in this unit, we'll try to see the Maxwell's equation where these expressions we are once again going to visit. We'll go to the next particular thing. Okay, so this is the third Maxwell's equation to be derived. It is essentially Ampere's law in the differential or point form, and we say that now whenever I am going to start with the Maxwell's equation, I am definitely going to ask you the question, del cross h bar is equal to j bar was the statement given by whom? You should be able to tell me that del cross h bar is equal to j bar is a statement given by Ampere's law. Is it okay? And j bar is not equal to 0, that is magnetostatic field is not conserved. If you do remember, I am just trying to explain it here only. Del cross E bar, when we have gone through the Gauss law and expression of that, we have understood del cross E bar, just try to understand this is E bar, is equal to 0. Yes or no? And we say that as curl is 0, E bar is irrotational. Since E bar is irrotational, it is conservative. Okay, E bar is irrotational, that means it is conservative. It has having source point and sink point. But now, if I am considering this del cross h bar, see, this is electric field intensity, this is magnetic field intensity. So del cross h bar is equal to j bar, which is not equal to 0. Which is not equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, what it means? What it means? It means that del cross h bar is not equal to 0. It is not irrotational. It is not irrotational. It is here having a rotational nature, and j bar is not equal to 0, that is magnetostatic field is not conservative. See, whatever we have started studying from unit number 1, unit number 2, combinedly we are going to write some certain expressions in the Maxwell's equations, and then we'll try to understand this one by one. So right now I will stop the discussion. In the next video we'll talk about the next thing, and we'll try to understand magnetic flux density and Maxwell's equation. So till then, happy learning and thank you very much.